Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon. Hi, my name is Vishnu Elangovan, and I'm a worldwide GenAI specialist solution architect here at Amazon Web Services. And I'm based out of Seattle here in the Pacific Northwest. And I've been here with AWS for close to 2.5 years. So today's topic is going to be empowering everyone in the AI era, building enterprise GenAI solutions without code. So before we even get started, I would just want everyone to answer or like think about a quick question. How many of you here have had a very brilliant idea for an application or a tool that would solve a problem at work, but then have thought, oh, I'm not a developer, so I can't build this? Please go ahead, raise your hands or express your thoughts in the comment below. That's pretty much most of us at some point of time, right? So now, what if I told you that limitation no longer exists? What if your expertise in marketing, HR, operations, or finance is now more valuable than ever? We would be exploring that fundamental shift that's been happening right now today. So, we are actually seeing democratization of technology creation. For decades, there has been a wall between the folks that who build applications or software and everyone else who uses and consumes these apps. But that kind of wall is slowly crumbling, and I'm going to show you how exactly you can step through it. So, before we even dive more into some of the concepts that I might want to show you, think about a problem. What's one task that in your daily work that you wish that could be automated or enhanced with AI? Take 15 seconds to think about this and put down your thoughts in the chat. And also keep the challenge in your mind throughout a session today because by the end you might see a path to solve this by yourself. Again, without even writing code. So over the next 30 minutes, we're going to see how generative AI has evolved. You would be understanding its core capabilities, see the tools that make it more accessible. And also I have a short demo where I built a real application without writing code. So stay tuned. You'll have more experiences coming down the agenda. So, to appreciate where we are now, let's take a quick summary. Let's take a quick journey through the last 5 years. In 2020, most people have never even heard of GPT-3, but this was the moment AI first showed it could generate human like text and sample code or even snippets of code. It was quite impressive if you look down what these research labs have done and how it was so restricted only for developers. Think about your smartphone in 2020, right? So were you asking it to write emails for you or create presentations? Of course not. AI was just like a curiosity or a buzzword that was being used that time, but now it's no longer a buzzword. It's kind of very real, and we kind of use it on an everyday basis. By 2021, we saw the first truly mind-blowing capability emerge, AI that could create images from text descriptions. Models like DALI and Midjourney, they started changing how designers worked. Suddenly, the conversation shifted from can AI help me in this to how quickly can I learn to use this? So let's ask a quick questions for ourselves. Who here has used an AI image generator like DALI or Midjourney? And how many of you consider yourselves artists or designers by just using these tools? Interesting. You might have heard of these tools or would have tried all of these tools, regardless of whatever background you're coming from. That's the pattern that we're seeing every day across these tools. And late 2022 was when everything changed. ChatGPT was launched and it reached 100 million users in just 60 days, the fastest adoption of any consumer technology in history. And suddenly, everyone from students to CEOs was experimenting with AI. The genie was out of the bottle. I wanted to remember how you felt the first time you started using ChatGPT. For me, it was more like excitement, surprise, and I was clueless how fast or the position where we came when ChatGPT was released. So that was the moment for me. I thought there was a fundamental shift in how we perceive technology. Again, next year, following 2022, was full of developments and advancements in generative AI. 2023 brought maturation of code generation tools. Developers reported much productivity by using these tools where they could write codes super fast. And now programming slowly started becoming more and more accessible to beginners. You could just describe what you really wanted in natural language prompts, and these tools would just generate code for you. Again, I think that was also the first hint that the technical barriers were just like fallen. And most people thought, oh, maybe it's just for developers. It's just not for me. But again, over time, 2024 brought in a lot of these enterprise integrations. As a solution architect here at AWS, have been there with the journey of all of these tools and how our customers perceive these tools. So if you have anyone who have used these tools, think about the progress that we have made so far. In 2025, these AI assistants become like a household name. They every applications or every device that you have has some kind of AI embedded. So you use them in everyday work applications. And in 2025, we are seeing the shift is slowly moving towards agents, agentic capabilities of generative AI. So no more AI development platforms that only allow tech professionals, but now it has opened the doors to non-tech professionals to create these custom AI applications. Think about this progression. In just 5 years, we have gone from AI being just like a specialized technology to something that anyone in this room can use it to create powerful applications. And again, the future is so bright. I'm so excited about the future because I'm not sure where we would be there in 5 years, but anything could be possible. The key transition that matters most for everyone here today is you don't have to be just a consumer of AI technology. You can slowly become AI creators. And that's not dependent on your technical background. It's driven by your domain expertise and creativity. So that's what we're going to focus today. So we have seen how we have arrived at this moment, but let's demystify what generative AI actually is in this slide. If you remove all of these technical jargons, it's very fundamental. It excels at pattern recognition. Imagine you have a colleague who has read every book, analyzed every spreadsheet, and examined every case study in your field, millions of examples, and they can instantly spot patterns and connections. Maybe in your role, what patterns do you spend time looking for? Maybe it could be customer behaviors, market trends, or employee performance patterns. It could be a diverse set of functions that you can come from. So AI can identify these patterns at a really huge scale and at speed that we cannot match. That's like decades of experience compressed into seconds. Secondly, AI can transform your ideas into polished outputs. Think about how much time you spend looking at just a blank page when you're writing emails or presentations or kind of writing a report. AI bridges that gap between your initial concept and the final product. It acts like an assistant to you, helps you generate these lines for you to think smartly, help you improve your content so that you're more productive. And how many of you have spent more time in creating single email? Now, with generative AI, again, this has been cut down for seconds. So that's all because of AI. And also because AI connects you to vast information sources, it's like having a research team or an assistant along with you that can think so fast, give you that specialized knowledge that you don't have, but that could be useful for you to enhance the task that's at hand. But the magic really happens when we translate all these capabilities to one specific role. Let's see how different professionals, let's say you are from marketing, you use countless number of hours to do copywriting or A/B testing, but now you can do all of this in just minutes or even seconds. You can just go write a prompt like create summer promotion emails for our fitness application. And you might receive so many ideas and results from generative AI. Similarly, if you're an HR professional, back back then there used to be a general onboarding for every employee in the organization. But now with generative AI, you can create personalized training paths for each role with just a single prompt, like design an onboarding sequence for like remote sales professionals who are joining next week. And the use cases are quite endless, right? So let's say if you're a business analyst and you're analyzing data, you can create these interactive dashboards without even writing code. All of this is really amazing. I want to address three different concepts today, which is prompt engineering. Next is retrieval augmented generation, RAG, that you see here, and multimodal capabilities. So prompt engineering is simply the art of giving clear instructions to these Gen AI tools. Like any good colleague or coworker, AI performs better when your requests are very specific. This is a skill anyone can develop with practice. Think of it like learning how to delegate tasks to a very little but incredibly capable new team member in your team. So when you just give like vague instructions like write me something about a product or when you or like it'll just give generic results, but when you provide very specific content or give more examples, like let's say write a 300-word email introducing our new HR software to healthcare administrators, emphasizing compliance features. You see how many number of keywords I've used in the sample prompt? That's exactly an example that I would like to call out to be more descriptive in your prompts to these generative AI tools like ChatGPT or Amazon Q or even Amazon Party Doc. So let me show you a real example. Let's say instead of asking, give me sales data, you could be like, analyze our Q1 regional sales data, identify the top three performing products, compare that to last year's Q1, and suggest potential reasons for any significant changes. So the difference of responses that you might get from these generative AI tools is going to be enormous. Now let's talk about retrieval augmented generation. This might sound like a jargon, might sound like a technical word, but it's kind of really simple. AI that you use, which are general purpose like ChatGPT or Claude AI or Perplexity, all of this is just plain simple. It's trained on the internet, but there is an AI which is specifically focused on your company knowledge. This ensures that you only get responses relevant to your business or the data that's sitting in within your enterprise. That's going to be solved by retrieval augmented generation. It is also one of the biggest limitations of AI that there is a gap between this general knowledge and your specific business context. So when you ask a question, AI first searches through your connected business data, your documents, your databases, knowledge bases, or even some of the past conversations that you've had in your internal communication channels. It finds that most relevant information, then uses that specific knowledge to generate an accurate contextualized response, which is actually powered by generative AI. So let's kind of give it an example. Without this retrieval augmented generation or RAG, If you ask about our refund policy, the AI might just give generic best practices about refunds. You could be in a specific industry. Let's say you are a food tech company, and refund policies for food tech companies might be very different compared to something like Amazon.com. But with retrieval augmented generation, it can pull your actual refund policy statement, understand the specific who you are as a user and what information might be relevant for you as a user. So that's basically retrieval augmented generation. AI with your specific knowledge is how I would think about retrieval augmented generation. So the benefits are is again, kind of exhausting. The one, you get really consistent responses across your organization. Next is reduce time searching the information, and then the ability to preserve the knowledge when team members change. And then third is multimodal capabilities. So these are just capabilities that are just beyond text. All of the tools that you use commonly now, like ChatGPT or Cloud AI, just works in text. But what if you want to generate images or process audio or work with videos? This is possible with multimodal capabilities. So now you're just not limited by one specific format. Now you have multiple formats like from images, audio, video, etc. You can input a screenshot of an error message, and AI would just give you step-by-step instructions on how to fix it. Or you can just record a meeting and get a transcript out of it. And yeah, for marketing professionals, it could be like you are thinking about a campaign, and you are writing a natural language prompt, and this AI is kind of creating these visuals with some audio elements and creating this beautiful concept that you can just immediately start deploying. So the power comes from this integration. There are different tools, but when you unify these different type of formats, the use cases are enormous and it can deliver results in a format that's kind of most useful to you. So, given all of this in mind, let's shift our focus on the demo that I've prepared. So today I'm going to show you a quick demo. So before we dive deep into the demo, uh, I want to talk about what we're going to build today. So we're going to build an AI-powered flashcard application where you can upload CSV or Excel files, and it's going to create flashcards. And you can track your progress as you learn, and you can review these difficult concepts and at the end. I actually chose this example because uh, this is very useful, and this could be something done under 15 minutes. It actually took me less than 15 minutes, and I didn't even write a single piece of code. So I would also want you to try this parallelly. So there are set up some prerequisites that you need to do. If you would want to use this information to do or try out this later at your leisure. So you might need few simple tools. First is the Visual Studio Code as listed here, and it's a free code editor. Um, it could be for Windows, Mac, or Linux, whatever system you're using. And again, just because it says Visual Studio Code, don't just get intimidated. We're just using that as an environment, not to write code ourselves. Think of Visual Studio Code as like the workbench, like a tool where AI assistant can do all the heavy lifting, where it can write code, build this tool, like build this AI code, test it, and can just give it to you as a platter. So Q developer is the builder, which is going to write code in Visual Studio Code. So we might also need Amazon Q developer extension. So Amazon Q developer is a generative AI assistant that helps write code. So it can generate code so that you can just use natural language prompts and create any kind of software that you want. So there is a free trial available to use Amazon Q developer extension. you just need an AWS account. Like, so you can create this AWS account, like creating a Gmail account or something. So it's very simple to get started. No special hardware. The barrier to entry is remarkably slow, is low. Go through this process, look at my demo, and try to mimic the same thing. And there's some documentation resources that's also there in the slide so that you can take a look at it, or connect with me later after the session.
Let's start chatting with the Q developer. Let's give it as descriptive as possible what we need to build. So for today, we're going to build a flashcard application. So this application could be like a flashcard app where you can give certain data. It can accept data from a user, from a CSV or an Excel sheet, or it could have a sample data, and users can start learning. They should be able to flip the flashcard and be able to learn. So once I've given the more descriptive prompt, as any other general purpose assistant is asking me some clarifying questions. So I'm just copy pasting those clarifying questions on a notepad here on the left, and then I'm trying to answer those questions. So Q developer is very intelligent here. So it's kind of asking me a set of questions. A few questions are like, would I like to support multiple categories in the same CSV? Should the CSV have a specific column name? I'm trying to use terms and definitions as columns. And would I like to track the user's progress across sessions? So I can just keep giving yes to all of these, just because it's a quick demo. Similarly, you can try to customize in what you want or what kind of features you would want to add to this application. So once I've given all of this, I am chatting again, and it's kind of thinking over. It's thinking through what other features can be added and what kind of things it needs to ask to the end user. So it's asking me, should I support dark mode support for bed readability? If the cards incorrect cards needs to be moved at the back of the deck, and a few other questions like that. Again, yeah, I can go through these questions, see if it kind of matters for me, if I want those features in my application, and give those responses. So here is where the most interesting part comes. So slash dev is the Q developer agent where it can automatically write code, build this application on your behalf. So once the requirements are clear, I'm gonna copy those instructions and use slash dev. I'm gonna write slash dev and then give my prompt. So far, we have just been chatting with this application like a general purpose assistant like ChatGPT, but now is where the actual building happens. So I'm gonna give the same instructions that we have gathered with all those, detailed clarifying questions and its related answers, along with this slash dev, and I'm gonna copy that whatever we just spoke and um, note it down on a notepad, and then I'm just going to give develop, so it's going to start generating code for me. So things take time, like 2 to 3 minutes it takes for it to think through, develop this code, add all of these necessary files and dependencies. As you see, app.py, index.html, um, and there are different files that's been created, and like a lot of logic is being created for someone who is not coded or who doesn't care what all of this code is. It's completely fine. But if you are a developer and if you want to customize and modify, if you notice something that's wrong, you can again open this terminal and then give Q chat as it says here and start chatting to modify the build. Okay, so whatever has been built, you can start modifying. So here I'm asking, can you build this and run this application locally in my system? So I want to test, right? So the build has been done. I want to test this application. So I'm going to test how this looks like. And I also want to make a quick change if it can also support a .xlsx extension along with CSV. So I'm going to do that. It kind of builds me that. So it keeps updating few set of code. And now we have run this application locally. We have the final output here. So whatever we needed, we described in the prompt, it is successfully created that. So I know the flipping part opens. I can upload a CSV sheet and I can review all the questions and answers or like the terms and definition that's been feeded. Once I get a particular definition right for a term, I can give correct or incorrect, and based on that, it calculates a success rate. And for me, I think on the onset, just by like 2 or 3 prompts, I was able to get this application built locally in my system. So this is very cool for me. So just for me to get started, this is like a great step, and I kind of now keep observe uh, I can keep observing and then understand what needs to be changed. Is there something that's missing, and I can add those features. So when I first developed, I thought there could be reset buttons, so that once a user makes some mistakes or he wants to start from again, the reset button could be like good value add. So I'm chatting with Q to add that reset button. It's trying to update the code. As you see, it started updating. It's asking me to run this new updated piece. You see what it has replaced. It's giving you the set of changes that it has done and how or what piece of logic has been added. Now we have this reset button. Again, it's pretty cool. We can test out this reset feature and see if we need to add something else. And now I think there could be some difference in how the element there is, like just to where the flashcard is, just to see the differences, right? So I'm trying to inspect element, identify what's like the border or like what's the HTML element, so that I can add a border to this element. So again, I'm not doing anything. I'm not writing a piece of code. Again, I'm just using natural language queries, and it's automatically changing that stuff again. So now you see the difference. A border has been added to the element where the flashcard is. So this is pretty cool. In like matter of minutes, I was able to build this application, and I can start uploading different Excel sheets where there are two columns, terms and definitions, and I can start building a flashcard application. So what usually takes a lot of time to understand what needs to be developed, writing lots of lines of code, you have just used natural language to create a web application. That's pretty cool. Again, you can do a lot of these things like change colors and um, you know turn this into an Android application. The amount of things that you can do to this application is enormous. You can try to host it for free in a platform. So this is currently running locally just for the purpose of a demo. So any users, right? So whatever use case you try to see, you can start building applications like this. So now let's focus on what we have done so far. So I would just like to reiterate. I started with this chat window in QDeveloper, in an IDE like Visual Studio Code, just by using English, and I started chatting, and then I kind of gave some answers to some clarifying questions the AI asked me back. And I just gave those answers, and I just gave yes to a lot of these questions, so that I don't have to think through a lot. Again, some could be some questions could be really good. You would not have thought about a particular feature. The beautiful nature of AI is it can help you enhance your existing application. So next, I use slash dev. Slash dev is the piece where Q developer creates this code, builds this application for you. It's an agent, as we discussed earlier when during the presentation. Agents are the system that can help you do certain actions on your behalf. Here, what it's doing is kind of creating the complete code for me, right from scratch. It is kind of testing the code if it would work, and then it's kind of giving me an output. So essentially, I can even go to the terminal and click on Q chat and then ask it to run it locally under my system. So all I'm doing is just using English, and I'm trying to test what the output looks like. And it's kind of downloading, installing all the dependencies that it's required, so I don't have to leave anywhere. I don't have to leave my Visual Studio platform. I can just start chatting, build an application, open the URL that it's kind of showing me, and then I have this application built up. So that's the experience uh, we have been getting after the advent of generative AI. anyone, quite literally, who has not even tried out even like a single piece of line of code can come, use any IDEs that's there available, and start coding. So this is one good example. I kind of created this in like less than 10 minutes. So I want all of you just to go ahead and see what application that they would like to build for themselves and get started.
Covered a lot of ground today, from understanding how the evolution of AI has begun to demystifying these concepts and exploring different tools that makes it possible. I have a few tips for you. Start small, ask questions to Amazon Q. It's going to help you give those responses in a summarized fashion. And every successful interaction with an AI tool would just give you more confidence and help you understand what's really possible. So think of a task that could be automated, that is time consuming for you, and try uh, using AI. And again, you don't have to build perfect solutions immediately. Any partial solution could be good enough. And again, join the community of non-technical creators. There are so many people who are coming from diverse perspectives, like or like professions, from marketing people, HR specialists, sales folks, operation managers. All they've started adopting these tools. So bring in your domain expertise and who you are as a person in shaping how AI should write code for you. So that's all I really wanted to talk about in today's session. So the formula for learning this technology is very simple. Your domain expertise plus the capabilities of these AI tools is going to be the future of work. So you and your knowledge would be like an irreplaceable component. So I want you to leave with this thought that the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is actually now. So the tools that we have discussed today are just not, theoretically available. They are waiting for you to use them right after the session. So if you found this session useful, go ahead and connect with me on LinkedIn. I would be more than happy to chat about AI, or if you had any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day.